So let's have a look at CloudWatch logs. And for this, on the left-hand side, let's go into log groups. So as you can see, we already have one log group available to us, which is AWS Lambda, demo Lambda. Well, that's because before we created a Lambda function that we ran and that automatically created some log into CloudWatch logs. So if we click on this function, this is what it was doing. It was running this code. And so if we go into CloudWatch logs and click on this log group, we can see we have one or more log streams. So here's my log stream. And within the log stream, as you can see, this represents all the log lines that were logged by my Lambda function. So we have the request ID, the loading function, then we get some values, so value 1 is value 1, and so on, then end of the request ID, and end of the report. And we can play with it. So that means that any log line logged by my Lambda is going to appear here. So for example, I can change my Lambda function and say, print an extra log line. And then we're going to deploy this. And then I'm going to test my changes. So we're going to test it with this test event and then create and then demo events. Perfect. And create now tests. So now my function is running. And so what should happen is that if we go back into CloudWatch logs, go to my log groups, and then within the log group, we have a new log stream. This log stream right here contains the log line, an extra log line. Okay, so this is excellent. And this is good for just monitoring, obviously, information about your Lambda functions, but also what happens if there's an exception. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a hash sign in front of this line to comment it. And I'm going to remove the hash sign from line 13 to have this raise exception, something went wrong. We're going to deploy the changes again and test our function. So now something went wrong. And what's going to happen is that if I go into my Lambda, there's a new log stream. Click on this log stream. And in here, I'm able to see that exception right here. And we can look at why our function went wrong. So this is very handy. That means that every time my Lambda function is going to run, the logs are going to appear in CloudWatch logs. But this is not just true for Lambda functions. Obviously, this is true for any kind of logs that you want to appear in CloudWatch logs. So CloudWatch logs is very handy because you can troubleshoot maybe errors in your programs or your applications and so on by just looking at the log lines within your log groups for your services or for your applications directly within CloudWatch logs. And then you can do some log analytics, some alerting, some monitoring, and so on, okay? And this is super cool, again, and something to definitely go deeper into when you are a DevOps in a company. So that's it for this lecture. I hope you liked it, and I will see you in the next lecture.